Is money laundering something that you want on record right now? Like just having that conversation, given your recent. I'm
Hey,
just
you know
throwing it
what?
out there. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just asking.
You know what, man? Somebody can accuse me of turning tricks on a corner in Salt Lake, and I will still talk about hookers.
And both will get you arrested. So, hey,
Not talking about them.
not talking about it, no. But if you're doing it and talking about it, and
Well,
they go check up on you, then,
well, I I have invited everybody that needs to be invited to this party. They can check up all
like
they
I'm going to
want.
say orgy.
That does make it an orgy.
My former business partner did reference Mexican hookers in a address at our company holiday party.
No
Said
kidding.
former partner. Was that part of the reason?
He was a loose cannon.
You
But
said
yeah,
in a, I'm sorry, did you say in a dress or in an address?
an address.
Okay, so he wasn't wearing a dress when he,
Not that time. Nope.
Not that time. There's
oh,
promise to this story.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
the craziness.
those fucking loose cannons. You gotta watch them. Keep them behind closed doors. Don't let them out.
I have no comment.
Troy, do you already have something in the not finished library of things that you are working on around lead magnets already? Am I wasting my breath and time on this? No.
No, I do not.
Okay.
Nothing that comes to mind.
In just looking at the again those blanks and going, okay, where do I feel comfortable, having a voice and putting something down on paper that if somebody were to question me on, I'd be able to speak relatively intelligently to it. So
Cool. Yeah, I don't believe I do. And you know what? If fuck it, dude. If I do, I'm obviously not getting to it right now. So charge on. And Jim, to answer your question, no, I have nothing in regards to um, social media campaign for AmeriCares.
okay. And while we're sitting here, Matt, you joined
the
the business
new,
growth strategy, right?
I'm
You're
sorry, what?
you're a member of the business growth strategy, right? I think you signed up and have access to that membership site.
I want to say I did, yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, go into the calendar, into the cohort IV coaching section, and under the growth strategy weekly call, and see if you can schedule the appointment for tonight at 9 o'clock. Because I went in and scheduled, and I just want to make sure that we can have multiple people scheduled there or something that we haven't tested. Make sure that's set up right. Should, but possible that it's not. And I'm also not seeing a notification anywhere in Kartra after signing up, so I don't know if that means that. Okay, I do see. So I didn't get a notification like in the news and alerts, but if I go into the calendar, I'm able to see that I had signed up for it. We see there's a registrants list. So as of now, I'm the only one. So Jubilee did not sign up for that yet. So we won't have anybody joining tonight as of right now.
Okay.
You know, somebody, some innovative motherfucker needs to set aside the desire to cure cancer and figure out how poor dumb asshole like me can organize my tabs. Fuck the longer lasting light bulb, dude. Who gives a shit about a better mousetrap? Help me organize my fucking tabs. Just say it. There's probably government money in there somewhere for that.
What's the symptom? The problem? Your tabs are all over the place.
God, they're a fucking disaster. And it just rebooted. It just did an update and a reboot. So
It's over.
God damn, man, my tabs. I have got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven windows for my support at Troy McLean. There has to be 20 plus tabs on each one of them. Then I've got 4 windows for my government contracting. There's got to be 20 or 30 tabs on each one of those. Cohort IV for support, I've got 1 window with 20, 25 tabs. Troy at Cohort IV, I've got 4 or 5 windows, probably about the same number of tabs.
A lot of tabs.
No shit. I'm sitting here looking at it wondering how many fucking redundancies I've got.
So that's, yeah. Is it the tabs or is this
Oh, dude,
user error?
Dude, it's 100% operator error, dude. 100 fucking %. But that's not the point. I mean, we dump billions of dollars into solving problems that are diet related and lifestyle related. That's operator error. You know not to eat the fucking donuts every day, but you eat the fucking donuts every day, and then you want the government to solve your problem with diabetes. All right, same thing. I'm just saying, there's probably government money in there somewhere. I'm looking at a $5 million potential Sitter grant on coming up with a platform or an app to help me organize my tabs.
But your tabs and everything about it sounds like it's already a government-run organization.
Well, okay. Well, you know what? The government doesn't pay somebody to fix a private party problem. They pay to fix a government problem that might be useful in a private party.
I'm just saying you're so part of the system now that you bring inefficiencies to your private business that you're dealing with in your government.
Until about 30 seconds ago, you and I were good friends.
30 seconds was longer than what it took for me to say all that. So was it something else prior to that that's caused this rift between us?
All right, now it's been 30 seconds.
Jim, where is the calendar?
So are you logged into,
I'm in my membership.
go to Cohort IV Coaching? Or did you get into the business growth strategy member site? So you're in there and you can see like the welcome, the quick references.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
And
All right,
I've got
go
the
to,
drop down for growth strategy call and
Yep.
build a business call.
yeah, click on growth strategy call
Okay.
and coaching calls calendar on the left-hand side.
There's a check mark next to it, but it doesn't.
And you clicked on that.
There's nothing to click. So it's in blue. It's got a check mark. I assume what I'm seeing is what it's telling me I'm reading right now. And it says sign up, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm seeing
And then
there
it
are no
says there
more.
are no more appointments available for this. Oh, you're seeing the same thing.
I got the same thing now. Yeah.
So two things clearly. Number one, we got to get the appointments in there. And the other is it wasn't automatically intuitive to me to click growth strategy call from the Cohort IV coaching dropdown about what it is that I do there. It may be because
Yeah, I gotta get
gone
some.
through the first portion of the membership where how much you've got completed, where it goes over like, hey, when you're ready to join a call, go do this.
Yeah, I gotta get the welcome video, record it and add it there. That's on me.
That's I wasn't
That's
saying that to
no. It's that was something I got on my short list that frankly I just haven't done. No excuses. It's just not done.
the
But I will get that, and it'll sort of be a walkthrough of the site, like where to go to reference everything and how to navigate.
and let's take the video out of the equation. Is there a more intuitive way when we get to that drop down of letting people know that this is where you do what you're supposed to do? Like, for example, instead of growth strategy call, like change the wording to something like sign up for the next growth strategy call or get on the growth strategy call calendar, like something to that effect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so right now how it's set up, and correct me if I'm wrong when you're looking at it, if you're getting the same view that I have. So when you hover over Coaching IV, Cohort IV Coaching, you got your two options, growth strategy call or build your business credit or build your business call.
Mhm.
So when you click on the call, it's the very first thing you come to is coaching calls, and it says sign up for the weekly coaching Q&A using the calendar and make sure to submit any questions. Do we need to clarify that further, you're saying?
Not on the page, in the drop down. Does that make sense?
So where it says growth strategy call, add something to that.
Again, going through this, and this is just coming from me. Okay. This is not anybody else going through and This is completely anecdotal to me. When I got to that and then looked at it and just saw a growth strategy call, I'm like, okay, that's what it is, as opposed to this is where I go to do X. Like either join the growth strategy call, or you wouldn't schedule it. Attend the growth strategy call, like a verb of some description on that line would have helped me go, oh, this is the thing where I go to wherever the thing is that I need to do to be able to get to the thing.
Right. And I'm wondering if maybe your point, maybe we update this, maybe just call it attend the growth strategy call. And maybe instead of having a calendar here where they have to go in and schedule, because that looks like it's going to be a kerflunkle, maybe we add just the Zoom call here and just put, reoccurring every Thursday at, what is it, 7 o'clock, I think, Eastern time.
Yeah.
Click here to join the Zoom call. Maybe just do that. And then we can have, if we're going to record and retain these for, maybe have a section in there for, missed calls, check, watch all the missed calls. Future state, right? I mean, I don't think we want to start doing that till we at least have somebody have one ready to drop in there, but.
Well, yeah. And I mean, those calls can also go into the guide section of the group, not the page, but the group, and be available there as well. So there'd be a couple of placements for it, but yeah. I already asked this question. Never mind. And again, this drop thing is just coming from a place of somebody like me that like plays with everything first before they watch a video or engages. It's like, how is this laid out? How is it navigated? And then, okay, now that I've read the middle of the book, let's go to the beginning and see how we got there and do my best not to read the end of the book so that I don't ruin the ending.
You just described 100% how I read emails. And I don't even read the end ever. It's like, if I don't get it in the first like 3 or 4 lines, you guys lost me.
Yeah.
I mean, the way most people write, the beginning is like setup. And I'm like, don't placate to me. Hey, Matt, I hope you're having a great day. It's, warm and sunny down here in Florida, getting a little gray. But hey, while I've got you here, can you blah, blah, blah? Like, all right, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. I got shit to do.
Duly noted. That is exactly how I write my emails.
I think everybody does
on
that,
speaking terms, Troy.
I'll get back to you on that.
So just little things like that would help somebody like me be able to navigate the site a little bit easier. And that in the order of things, the order of magnitude of things, like that may be like number 17. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Honestly, between that and that versus filling in some of the, the product gaps that we have, like how best do we want to utilize our time? I'll let you determine where that might sit on a priority list, if at all. Hold on one second.
So, on another note, I gotta tell y'all, people never cease to amaze me. You
In
know,
a positive or negative
in
way?
positive ways. In positive ways, man. I've spent my life absolutely fucking cynical, and you know, I'm doing my part to love people, appreciate them, you know, and so we're pretty mum about the issue, you know, that this thing with the accounts and whatnot, you know. One, it's nobody's business. Two, it's nobody's business. Three, we're not gonna talk to anybody about it, right? My wife had a bit of a come apart, shall we say, and her husband was not as receptive of the come apart as she thought he ought to be. So she expressed her frustrations to a friend. Okay? Holy shit, dude. Alright? We've got some acquaintances who they're not down on their luck. You know, they don't have lots of extra cash, right? And we stopped by to see them last night, and he pulled me aside and offered me $5,000 cash because we have no access to cash. I am the richest broke dude you will ever meet. We have no access to cash. The bills are paid, right? But we cannot access any additional cash. We have what we have in the safe, and that's it. You know, dude, I know these people. I've known them for well over a decade. I know what their bottom line looks like, and that $5,000 is what they've had sitting in the safe for a shitty moment, you know, for a bad time. And then we get home from their place, you know, it was almost deflating to him for me to continually refuse it. You know, I had to make a promise with him, almost like a pinky promise, that if I need it, I will come to him. You know? And then we get home, and as we're driving home, just before we turn around the corner, we get a text from another acquaintance who says, "You have stuff on your porch, you might want to get it inside." Dude, they went fucking grocery shopping for us. Dude, people are amazing, man. People are absolutely amazing. It boggles the mind. It truly does. Just had to share that. People can be pretty fucking amazing. You know, until they lump me in with the bureaucrats and shit like that, and then, you know, that makes me really second guess the whole opening up the heart bit, you know, and like reinstate my cynicism. But
life is full of experiences, Troy. And sometimes those experiences.
Wait a minute. Don't placate me with the beginning of the email. Know. Just jump to the fucking thing. All right? I don't give a shit about the weather here in Florida. All right? Just fucking get to it.
It is a balmy 85 degrees.
There you go.
That's really cool, though. Like,
It is, man.
I'll leave it at that,
It is.
just to get to the point.
Yeah. It is. Yesterday morning I had really nothing but emails. My early morning clients had canceled on me pretty early, earlier in the week, and so I plan for the long term, right? I know how much cash we have and what we're going through. Now I've been able to kind of establish a forecast on how long it'll last us, right? And I don't know when this thing is going to end and we're going to have access to cash again. So I donated plasma. What the hell's a shame of me, I'm not above selling my body. And, in the past, when I had to donate plasma, it's like because I was behind in child support or I needed to make a car payment or something like that. And, I always go in kind of hanging my head, hoping people don't recognize me. And, this whole thing has been extremely humbling because I was almost like fucking excited to be able to go and do that. And I don't know how to quite explain it, but it was just this whole thing is just fucking humbling, man. I live by a policy that when we go out to eat, no matter how shitty the waiter or waitress is, 50% of my tab, minimum of 50% of my tab is the tip. So, like if we go out as a party, if we take Grammy and Asshole Allen and anybody else out, dude, somebody is getting a monster tip. Okay. It is not uncommon. It is not unheard of for me to leave $150 tip. It's just that, this is how I work. And, what I think I'm seeing now is like, that is the karma that I've created. Usually when you walk into the plasma donation place, they all treat you like a fucking leper. It's like you're a shit stick who can't make his payments, make his bills. Get a fucking job, you goddamn retard type thing. Dude, everybody was so fucking pleasant. It was almost enjoyable to be there. And then the things that happened last night, just, I don't know why I was compelled to mention this, but man, just, that's good karma. I believe.
Is there any indication at all when this will end?
No.
No.
I don't even know who's doing the investigation. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's Homeland. I don't know if it's Treasury. I don't know if it's FBI. I don't know who's even conducting the investigation. I've never spoken to an investigator. I'm talking to my attorney, and pulling up similar cases, because it could be any one of those three that are doing the investigation. They all have overlapping jurisdiction in this matter. But talking to my attorney, 90% of the time or so, vast majority, I don't know, that's an arbitrary number. Vast majority of the time, you actually have to sue the agency in order to gain access to your accounts. But when you don't even know what fucking agency is doing it, so I've submitted FOIAs to everybody. There's absolutely nothing on docket with any of the local courts. Nobody's hearing anything. It's just investigative. I don't know when it'll end. At this rate, man, makes you wonder how it can end. They can hold this stuff indefinitely, especially if I post a McNasty meme on Facebook that somebody didn't like. They can. This is almost like incarceration. So I have no idea. But what kills me about it is nobody has reached out to us. Nobody has said anything to us other than the bank. And the bank is not allowed to tell me who is doing the investigation. I can sue the bank, but they actually have a mandate from DOJ that they cannot release that information during an ongoing investigation. So that doesn't go anywhere. That's not going to get me anything. So yeah, I have no idea, man. So we'll just hunker down and tighten up the bootstraps and ration the fucking peanut butter, and there you have it. We're not hurting. We're not. I didn't have anything to do, so a couple hours that I sat at the plasma place, that was probably the easiest $100 I've ever made. I felt like I was double dipping because I was doing emails for the government at the same time, So, and that's all it just goes on a card, and I'm just gonna stockpile that card. I can if I go twice a week to do that, dude, I can do $1,000 a month doing that twice a week. I'm looking forward to like Christmas. I know how much cash we have now and what it's going to do for us. How long it'll last us at the rate we're currently spending it. That doesn't include birthdays and Christmases. If this is a multi-month affair, I got to have a contingency. And I have my book money, which is usually used for that, but that's all in PayPal and it has to go to an account before I can access it. Can't fucking do anything with it, right? So I'll keep selling my body. I'll even pimp it out if somebody will just put the money on my plasma debit card, and then we'll use that for those type of events. It's just forecasting. I don't want to get caught with my pants down. Well, I don't mind getting caught with my pants down, but I don't want to get caught with my pants down in this situation. So it's not like we're hurting, and I think that I'm pretty good at planning and executing. I don't. So we'll be all right. We'll be more than all right. But when when this is going to wrap up, I have no fucking clue, man. You know, I'm having a discussion with one of my more esoteric minded friends, who was like, maybe this is the higher power, the universe's way of saying, hey, dude, you know, slow down a little bit. You're getting a little too big for your britches. Let's get back to the fundamentals here. You know, focus on the little shit instead of living high on the hog like you have. You know, I don't know, but I don't know when it'll rectify, and I'm not worried about it. You know, that's the crazy thing about it all, is that I have zero concern. You know, I know how to make money. I'm very good at making money. I'm very good at creating money. And I'm not concerned about it. I'll just start up another business, start up a business account, and then start redirecting deposits or what have you if I have to. You know, there's ways around it. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know when it's gonna. Who knows what it looks like.
Nothing to stop you from creating new accounts,
Personal accounts, yeah.
but not business accounts.
Not
So
business
you can still LLC.
No.
Yeah.
And we actually have an order. I did get a notice through the bank. Now, nobody can clarify this with me because it wasn't sent to me from an investigative agency. It was secondhand information from the bank, that I was legally barred from creating new accounts or affecting current accounts, meaning I can't change direct deposits and shit like that. But does that just mean that I can't do new accounts with that bank? I don't know. And if I go to another bank on you know, and I start an account, what's the penalty? You know, and do they know that I shouldn't make an account? You know, I checked check systems. My name doesn't appear on check systems, so there's nothing there, you know, nationwide, and that's the only such registration type, you know, watchdog thing that I know of, for banking information, for you know, to bar you from access to banks. And what if I do cancel a direct deposit and put it into a new account? You know, because the money I'm making right now is not being investigated. How can they justify that? You know, these are the questions that nobody can answer. So these are the routes that I'll eventually take. I just want to make sure that I enter into it with clean hands, and I give them time, because I think that you know, above and beyond paying bills, feeding my children would pull on the heartstrings of the court if somebody wanted to really press the issue. So,
Last question.
Yeah.
So, based on this experience, how much cash should the rest of us have in a safe?
minimum 10 grand.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Yeah, minimum 10 grand. Yep. And based on this, restructure, take a day or two, pause everything. And so the initial guy at the bank who was doing my the investigation. he's a long time acquaintance of mine, and he had never seen an issue like this until mine came across, and by the end of the week he had 4 more. So it's not an isolated event. Right? This is not. I don't know how or if something like this can be reported, but it's not isolated, right? And then it got bumped from him to another guy in Salt Lake County, and I don't have a relationship with him. We don't have the conversation, but from like the 10,000-foot view, it's all about information swimming downstream, all right, and the way accounts talk to one another. So you have one account that all of your money gets put into, okay, and then you physically, manually take the money out of that account to put into another one to pay your bills, or to have like your monthly allowance, your Amazon allowance or whatever, your spending cash goes into a completely separate account. That way, when you're paying, when you're buying from Amazon or you're buying online and you're doing this stuff, you have money coming in and going out of that one. And so that's what creates the rabbit hole, so these people can trace your transactions and bounce from account to account, because the way he put it to me is they clone the conversation between the accounts. Okay, so what brought this whole thing on? What started this whole thing was my bank account requested from my mortgage money. They put in an ACH request for money from my mortgage, and the mortgage company calls up the bank and says it doesn't fucking work that way. And they said, well, we didn't do that. And that was what started this whole thing. Was we were being nickeled and dimed to death by these cloned accounts making ACH requests. Well, when an account is accustomed to this swinging door, revolving door of money, when you've got things coming in and things going out, it doesn't have those flags. Whereas the mortgage company has that flag because money only comes in, it doesn't go out. So the bank's recommendation was set up everything so that you only have one account where things come in and go out, everything else only comes in. And then if it goes out in like a bill pay, where it's a predetermined ACH at a predetermined date, so that a requested ACH will get flagged and denied. So if you set up a bill pay, so that's why my bills are still being paid, because everything is in bill pay, and so I have a set amount that is paid on a set date every month to pay these bills. And as long as you don't have that traffic of in and out of a single bank account, then that's where you find your security. So you start an account where any deposits are made into that account, and the only money that comes out of that account is done manually by you. So you put in a transfer request, or you go move the money manually at the teller to another account where you can pay your bills out of that account. Because the big account that all your money comes into does not have any exit, anything going out that is not manually prompted by you. And that saves that account. Then this account that does bill pay, that's the only thing it does is bill pay. Everything is set up on bill pay. Now you've got two accounts, two functions that are completely safe. Nobody can get to them. And then you have a third account where you do your day-to-day buying, your grocery shopping, your Amazon, shit like that. That's the one that's jeopardized. And so as long as that one has manually transferred funds into it, it cannot request money from another account because there's no ACH history. It's manually transferred. So they don't have that transaction to clone. This is the way he set it up to me. This is the way he posited it to me. And apparently, and Jim, I think I was talking to you about it. This has been a known or suspected issue for quite some time because back in January I got on banking. I look at my bank account. Well, until this, I look at my bank account every single day. And I got on the on my online banking back in January, and I had new checking accounts that I didn't apply for. Well, I don't read their newsletter. And the newsletter explained that is exactly what they were doing, is they were giving you these accounts to put your direct deposits into so that this type of cloning issue doesn't happen. And I just closed those accounts. I didn't apply for them. I didn't need them. I just fucking shut them down. So, aside from having 10 grand in cash in your sock drawer, I think it would be going through what I'm going through, man. And honestly, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. Take the time to segregate your accounts so that if some shit like this happens, they don't have those transactions to clone.
That's helpful. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'll try to learn from you.
Dude, like I said, I ain't worried about it. I'm not concerned one iota. So what if I don't move to Sandpoint, Idaho in August? Dude, it fucking happens for a reason.
Right.
I truly, truly believe that. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. All this shit happened right before Helene, and I know me and my wife, and we would have pawned the kids off on grandmas and grandpas, and we would have gone to North Carolina to help out. Given the way things are turning out there, I don't think that's a place for a couple of people of our temperaments to be. I see incarceration in our future. If shit is going the way that we're hearing. I have a client who's from Asheville. His parents are missing, last I heard. He owns a helicopter company, a flight company. They outsource to Forest Service and all sorts of stuff. And he took his 5 corporate birds out there and his private bird out there, and he does FEMA work. He is a FEMA contractor. I set him up on that. I'm very. I know his business very intimately, and I know what the call out is and what his certifications are. And they staged in Tennessee waiting for Helene to come through, and then they were some of the very first to get into Asheville. And his 5 corporate birds have never left the tarmac. They forbid him from flying. But he's out there in his personal bird, they can't forbid him from flying. And on Friday, and he had been calling me every day, giving me updates, and he's fucking furious. He's out there looking for his parents, and he's recovered dead bodies. He's saved, dozens of people. He's ferried dozens of people in and out, carrying all sorts of water and shit like that. And he told me on Friday, Troy, if you don't hear from me on Monday, it's because I've been arrested. His wife called me on Tuesday, says, I have a message from Clive. He got arrested. He was arrested for flying. He got arrested for a rescue mission. And I haven't heard from him yet, so I'm assuming he's still sitting in the paddy. So maybe somebody, somewhere, said, Troy, you don't need to be involved in that shit. We'll just take away your ability to fucking do it, so you're not out there causing chaos and commotion. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Whether or not this happened to humble me or for something bigger, we have a very tumultuous election season coming up. We're 30 some odd days away, and shit's getting stupid. People are getting stupid. This administration is trying very, very, very hard to get us in a hot engagement with Iran. If Israel bombs Iran's nuclear sites, I think we have an insanely high probability that both China and Russia will be involved in the retaliation. And there will be retaliation, if not from China and Russia, at least from Iran. When there's retaliation on Israel, we will have to be involved. That's going to bring us into a hot war with Iran and their allies, all of whom are nuclear, and all of whom don't use nuclear capabilities as a deterrence, but as it's actually an offensive weapon. Both China and Russia, that is their policy, is that they have offensive nukes. The Westerns, us, France, England, we're the only ones that believe in defensive nuclear capability. Eastern capabilities all practice offensive capability. So what's that going to escalate to? What's that going to lead to? Potentiality. So there you have it. There's my philosophies. That's what keeps me up at night. So, how's the weather in Florida?
Still a balmy 85.
I don't know, man. I'm getting some pictures from friends in Tampa, and it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it's still not good. Less balmy, or maybe very balmy, just cluttered.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully it's not nearly as bad as what they projected. Hopefully it actually does, again, go over the state and just get the heck out of Dodge.
It does not be as bad.
Speaking of stubborn sons of bitches, have you guys seen anything about that Lieutenant Dan guy
Gary
staying on the
Sinise?
boat?
Read just a little bit.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Not Gary Sinise. So this is like some guy they nicknamed Lieutenant Dan. He's like staying on a sailboat
Like a 20-footer.
in Tampa Bay. Yeah.
He stayed through the hurricane?
Yeah, he's sticking it out. He's got part of his, I think it's his left leg amputated. So
I was gonna ask, does he have magic
and
legs?
that's so and this guy just looks like some, hard ass stubborn SOB, and he's sticking out, riding it out. He rode out Helene when it came through too, and he has no fears whatsoever.
Uh, yeah, he survived Hurricane Milton. He made it
Yeah, good for him.
unscathed. I'm fine, he says. My gosh.
That's the kind of positive stuff you need to see.
Some idiot decides to stay in the
What's
hurricane.
the lesson learned here?
Like, I'm struggling with this one. I mean, I'm glad he made it, and also it's a sailboat. Sail out of the way.
I mean,
Not like he didn't have warning.
Yeah.
Everybody had warning. Well, most people had warning.
Right.
A lot of people didn't listen.
Some just weren't able to get out too by the time the warning was issued, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
don't quite know it. The
Yeah.
logistics of getting out there for some folks, and
yeah,
but, of course, air travel is limited, and you start running out of fuel, and you can't fuel your vehicle if you didn't plan ahead soon enough.
Yep.
You get to the point where you are stuck.
Yeah.
And Florida being a totally flat state too, I mean, everywhere is going to get storm surge, and you can go so far, but if you don't have the ability to get out of the state and get far enough north, you are going to get hit regardless. And then are you setting yourself up? You're going to get stuck on the highway, sitting in your car with the surge coming through, and you got to weigh out the
Yeah.
pluses and minuses there.
I get it.
But I guess to your point, at the end of the day, a hurricane's coming in. Do you really need to be sitting there for it, or can you just get the heck out of Dodge and come back in a week?
I don't know. A lot of people are like, but my house, well, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
You can't hold the wind back.
It's just
It's going to happen whether you're there or not.
right.
Board it up and leave.
Do you want to be in the house when the roof comes off or not in the house when the roof comes off? Which is going to be better? I don't know. Anyway, are we jumping on a call tonight? A Q&A? Or are we off? Like, I guess I need this on my calendar. How do I do that? What's the easiest tab? I need a new tab. I need a new tab open. Put this on my calendar. Maybe I can organize them.
Maybe you can create
Yeah, and I need to
an
do
app.
some more on the back end of the site here to get this added. Troy, I think we're using your Zoom. I don't think I can actually add Zoom directly to anything. So there's the integration in Kartra for Zoom, which is already set up, so we can add it based on a calendar. But I'm not seeing a way to actually add Zoom without having your Zoom login probably and doing it that way. So I don't know if that's something you're comfortable
How,
with sharing your
how,
login
how
pass.
about if I create a permanent Zoom link just for these calls?
That'd be perfect. And then we could just add that link to the site.
Yeah.
That'd work. It's probably the most advantageous, easiest way of doing it. So I guess one would be a Thursday call and one would be a monthly, whatever occurrence you wanted that monthly one to be.
tangential to all of that, we have Cohort IV affiliate links for some of the tools and resources that we utilize, right?
Yep.
Okay. So in Affiliate Vault, that might be another place for those links. Right now, one that's in there is become an affiliate of the Cohort IV.
Yeah, so the affiliate vault is for cohort affiliates. So people who are affiliates of ours, people who are peddling our wares.
Okay.
So I have somewhere one of these hundreds of spreadsheets. I have all these links listed.
Because I think that would probably be either like a quick reference thing or its own separate, like, Civ tools section. I don't know. Like, it might be good to have that list somewhere readily and easily accessible.
All right.
I mean, especially if we're referencing that stuff in terms of the courses and saying, hey, we're using Kartra. You're on Kartra right now. Here's the Cohort IV link for Kartra so that you can follow along.
Okay. I have overwhelmed the system, it appears. Lord knows I don't know how I fucking did that, but
The number of tabs that you got.
no shit, right? If only there was an app. Just saying. I wonder if ChatGPT can build me an app to organize my tabs.
Okay, so
I
they just released something called Chat GPT 4.0 with Canvas,
Uh-huh.
and I've been playing around with it, and it's pretty badass. And it's designed more towards things like coding and long form documents, and it's, again, I've only been playing with it for a couple of days, but it's a pretty cool little addition to what they've got. And some of the blogs and, you know, YouTube videos that have been coming out lately on it are raving it. I think I read one headline for an article that said something to the effect that, you know, Google Docs needs to be worried. So it's the leads magnet guide that I'm creating. I'm creating it in ChatGPT with Canvas, and it has been a very positive experience in creating this document. So when you guys see, you know, again, a reviewable version of it, that's where it came from.
Okay. And I've seen the ChatGPT Python. You know, and I have a working knowledge of Python. I wanted to get in there and tool around with that.
Mm-hmm.
I can. It's taken time and lots of effort, but man, I've created some pretty phenomenal things with Python code. I'd like to play around with that one, but I tell you what, if we're not on top of, you know, if we don't stay on top of AI and integrate it into our business plans, we're going to be left in the dust.
I've been collecting prompts. I have been, like, the AI Foundations ebook has been numbered. It has been linked in terms of having the Cohort IV and the membership links added to it. You know, I haven't uploaded anything to Kartra in the quick references section. That's because I've never done it, and I need to get in there and figure out how to do it. but it can be added in there at this point. But yeah, I mean, utilizing it as a tool, especially like looking at what we do throughout these courses and some of the things that we're asking people to do, it's like having, it's having a partner in your solopreneur journey, like it's really, really helpful. Yeah, you can do some crazy things in it, but you can also do some things that just get you over that little hump that you've run into. One of the things that has helped me a lot in utilizing it from a standpoint of learning, a lot of times we get into, you get a lot of information about what to do. And then it's like, well, hey, do this. This is the formula, put it in and go. But you don't get the back end of that, which is, well, this is what the vision of good looks like. So when you're looking at conversion rates, like here's how to do the conversion rate. Here's the formula. Great, go do that. But what's the vision of good? Like when I get my number, is 20% good? Is 5% good based on what I'm doing? There's not that information. And, you can jump on Google and type that stuff in and get a million different answers. But I'll usually go first, Perplexity, and then turn around and go into ChatGPT. You're like, look, when it comes to a metric, what is acceptable and what is not? Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to create something that gives people direction that doesn't have some sort of measurable element to it. Like you're going to be able to see a tangible result in some way, shape, or form. And it's not just going to be the thing that you created in the sense of, hey, here's how to do a lead magnet. No, here's how to do a lead magnet and then how to determine whether it's an effective lead magnet or not. And using data, not just, hey, well, it feels good to me and I'm the audience. Great, let's go. So I've found that using AI for those kinds of things has been very, very helpful for me. And hopefully it'll be very, very helpful for other people when they get some of the stuff that I'm creating with it. So.
That's cool. Go ahead.
Right.
I was sharing some of my government contracting resources with I guess you would call him my boss at the governor's office, and he was dumbfounded that I write this shit by hand. He's like, dude, you can save so much time by throwing these prompts into ChatGPT. I don't know, it's a pride thing. But looking at my lineup of if we are going to go the government contracting route, looking at the lineup of what I've got to refine might be wise for me to use ChatGPT to finish a lot of this shit, government contracting and civ.
Well, as I said, I've mentioned this before when it comes to, the worry around tonality, voice, all that kind of stuff. If you've already got stuff written, you can upload that as a document, tell it to analyze the document in terms of voice, tonality, presentation, whatever, and then let it do its analysis and then turn around and say, okay, for this document, finish this section using the results of the analysis that you did on the document from before. Granted, you wouldn't say it like that, but that's essentially what you're doing. You're saying, finish this document, in its current voice, or whatever. add sections 3, 4, and 5 that are on these 3 topics and use the voice from sections 1, 2, and 3. Like, that's a thing. And I've done it, and it works pretty well. It's not perfect because it's just not a perfect system, and it never will be. But it's really, 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 really good.
Well, given that I write most of my shit at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know that my voice is the same from one to the next. So nobody would probably know.
If someone were to read like 5 steps to defining your bulletproof value proposition, which was finished recently, and then turned around and read Fearless You, those have got fairly similar voices to them. Cadence, word choice, phrasing, it's very, very similar.
Okay.
So, you may be talking about a little more on the side of how hard you lean into it, but it's very, very similar.
That's good to know, because I would have bet that I'm all over the fucking board.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wouldn't say all over the board. I mean, there is a recognizable undertone to everything, and it's not just bullshit, 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 fuck you, bullshit, you're bullshit, like fix your bullshit. Like that's not it. It's an earnestness, an intention, again, a no BS approach. And I think that permeates everything, regardless of what time what time of day you wrote it.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I've been thinking on this. I've been under, I told you I've self-imposed crunch to get some of this stuff done, and so I've been curious about that. If I'm, I don't want to lose that sincerity and just throw shit down with filler words and stuff. I don't. You go ahead.
Take a document that you've done, upload it to ChatGPT, and say, analyze this for those things that you're curious about.
Okay.
Do a couple of them and have them do a compare and contrast about, does this maintain the tone and that sincerity throughout? And it will give you a very calculated response. Like, it's very, there's no wishy-washy. It's like, look, this is what I found.
Yeah. Huh.
Here you go.
Cool. I will do what I can to find the time to do that, man.
If you've got spare time and you're still curious about it, have at it. One of the reasons that I lean onto it as much as I do from a document creation standpoint is because I don't feel like I have the gift of gab to be able to create something in a longer form. I just don't have enough words in me to create something that's would be considered substantial enough to be considered credible. So having something that's able to help me fill in gaps about flow, about context, about example results, about whatever, to help give more credence to what I'm trying to say, I find, at least for me, very, very helpful.
Cool. I am looking forward to your programs on integrating AI.
Lots of ideas.
I can tell, dude. I can tell. I mean, this segment of the call, I think this is one that we need to trim the fat on and publish. because yeah, I can tell, and I dig it.
Well, like I've mentioned before, I don't look at the AI stuff that I would be and am trying to create as something that is in and of itself like a core program. Everything about it is all in conjunction with everything else that we're doing. It in and of itself is a tool to help you do the other things that we have in the course. So if you're having a hard time coming up with a headline for your lead magnet, here's a prompt that you can put into ChatGPT to give you 10 different headlines that could be applicable. If you're just not that creative, completely understand, here's a way around that. Same thing with whatever, imagery, copy, whatever. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do that are tools to help you progress, not to do it for you. So it's kind of have to go hand in glove with what you're already doing. You have to have the intent of creating a business. It's not just going to create the business for you. You are going to have to put some skin in the game, and here's a tool to help you do it.
Cool.
Metrics question.
Cool.
My coach asked, what are our metrics for success around Cohort ID?
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on what metrics we would be tracking for ourselves?
So are we talking short-term, long-term, or all the metrics in between?
Yeah, I don't know. He said,
Okay, so
I don't know. What metrics should we be tracking?
well, sales, conversions, ROI on ad spend, what we're getting from an ROI on ad spend, depending on what it is that we're doing. So for example, with the likes campaign, it's about, what are we doing? How much are we spending per day? $5. How many people are we getting in from that based on each day? So we're looking at follower numbers, from that ad spend. So that's that. But if you're looking at it from, if we do decide to do an ad on business growth strategy membership, then clearly it's going to be sales conversions with that. We're constantly looking at just all the numbers that we're looking at in terms of week to week on the top 3 in Kartra, and what are we doing to measurably affect those numbers has to do with content, the amount of content going out, and where that content is driving people. Doing it less so, but still having conversations around program completion. Okay, we've got these gaps. When are we going to have X, Y, and Z done? Who's working on what? Where are we at with those so that we can launch on X, Y, Z date if we wanted to hold ourselves to that? To me, that's the majority of it.
I mean, that's a shit ton.
Well, it's a fairly sophisticated business model we got here.
A robust list of potential metrics.
And there's metrics within metrics, So if I'm looking at, for example, and I've done this already, so like our likes campaign, I had a video for it, and we were getting X, Y, Z. So after a couple of days, I'm looking at conversion rates of it. I'm looking at click-through rates and going, okay, we're not where I want to be. So what do? I change the creative. Now I've got a whole new, thing I got to work through. Okay, now with the new creative, are we getting better numbers?
Right.
We are, is the answer, by 2x. And now it's like, okay, well, we've gotten twice as many people to follow based on that creative change. What else needs to happen now? Creatives don't necessarily live forever. So what's the next one that's going to come around? And then you're going to be measuring against the old one. It's like, do I need to go back? So there's no shortage of things to measure if we wanted to. I think it's about prioritizing and keeping it relatively high level right now until we can get some help. Some VAs to maybe do some of either the busy work or some of the background metric evaluation, so that we can focus on the things that really drive the business forward, which is videos, product, value, all that.
Okay.
So
Will that help answer your coach's question?
Yeah, he didn't have a specific in mind. He just wanted to make sure we were tracking something. We could watch trends.
It would be very difficult for us to have a business that revolved around intentional victory, which by definition is tactical, and by tactical is also very metric and data driven, to not be tracking metrics and data. So,
but I with that, I also very much appreciate him inquiring. And the reason I giggled at that is because I coach clients every day who something like that should be assumable, and they're not doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I very much appreciate him inquiring. So the metrics that I try to follow are, and here's my list in order: website traffic, email list growth, social media engagement, revenue growth, and stagnation, ROI, customer acquisition cost, average order value, conversion rate, customer lifetime value and or customer annual value, and customer churn rate. Those are what I track.
is customer acquisition cost in there anywhere?
Yep. That was number 6.
So are these officially tracked?
Not in Civ. No, I was officially tracking them with the Troy McLean and other things. I have not launched this as an official track for Civ. I've been kind of preoccupied with other things.
And some of it is going to be very difficult to calculate based on, from a monetary standpoint. So, for example, ROAS, like, other than the likes campaign, like, have we really spent any advertising dollars on anything to boost? So, that to me is like not even worth looking at until we start getting into real. If we're spending $130, $150 a day on ads, that's different. $5 a day to get people to join the page, let's just track the number of people that we're getting in, and I'll look at that number and determine whether or not we need to pivot in some way, shape, or form. But some of those numbers might be in a different position on the priority list at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, return on investment, like, at this point, are we looking at time? Like, how much time we're putting into all of these things versus the number of people? Like, no.
Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
Roles and responsibilities.
We've
We do
hashed
what we can when we can.
we've hashed on that one.
We've had conversations.
We've had conversations.
Yep.
I think that he's right. I think that is a we're as an organization, and for lack of a better word, we are sophisticated enough now as an organization that we need to have that delineation.
There is some natural roles and responsibilities that have come to fruition, just nothing formal.
I'm kind of relying on that natural pull, because the last thing you want to do is assign somebody a role that they're not fit for. So you see where you monitor to see where they gravitate to, and then you build on that gravitation, on that pull. Quick question. I'm trying to add the three of y'all as alternate hosts on Zoom for this weekly meeting, the business strategy call. It's saying that it doesn't like your email addresses. Mr. Brian, what am I fucking doing wrong?
I don't know if. Hold on, let me look at my account.
So, are you in Kartra trying to add it, or
No, I'm in
Zoom?
I'm in Zoom.
In Zoom.
Mm-hmm. And I've tried to add your cohort emails and your personal Gmails.
And it's not accepting any of them?
No.
Are we on the invite?
Maybe not. Probably not.
I wonder if that matters.
Yeah. Probably does.
I don't remember my password because I've shared it. I'm testing this as well. User cannot be selected at this time. Is that what you're getting?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Weird. Even with you as a attendee, that's going to take a little research.
Yeah. I'm just gonna assume that I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, what I'm doing wrong.
But you're both getting the same result, so it's got to be a function of Zoom.
He's
Either
guilty
something-
by association. Because Zoom's like Facebook, man. It listens to everything you say. And these are 7 p. Eastern Time Thursdays, right?
Yep, 7 p.m. Eastern.
All right, so I've got it set up. We'll keep working on assigning alternate hosts. But I did put a passcode on this one, and it's just Cohort IV.
Alternative host must have a Zoom account in your organization. That's why we can't do it.
Oh. Okay. All right.
We're back. All right, here, Jim.
Here's there's the Zoom link. There's a screenshot of the meeting. Just check it, make sure that I got time and shit right.
Every Thursday at 7 Eastern.
Yeah, it's 5 p.m. my time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could have taken my fuzzy slippers off to do that math, but I didn't think it was necessary. So I wonder if I can transfer my Zoom account over to Cohort Support, and then anybody can log in as Cohort Support, any one of us.
I wonder, will a free account let us add cohort support and keep whatever you've already done?
I don't know.
So you're saying set up a free Zoom account for Cohort, Brian?
No, I'm wondering if. Oh my gosh. I'm wondering if we're using Troy's account, if he could just add a user to his organization. Let's see.
Maybe. You're a pro, right, Troy?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like with the pro, you can have up from 1 to 9 users, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if there's an increased cost there per user. It's not like it's included in. So it'd be like an additional $13 a month per user to add. Rather than Zoom, do we want to use Google Meet for this and just use the cohort login? Are there benefits?
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, is Zoom a better? I mean, just from a meeting perspective, is there things that would work out that make Zoom the better option as opposed to Google
I
Meet?
use Zoom simply because I use Zoom.
We use Google Meet for all of our school meetings, and it's to me it's comparable. It's like Teams, Google Meet, they all do the same exact things now.
Right. And we have that. I mean, we have Google Meets with our cohort ID login, and we all have access to that. We can.
Well, then there you have it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
disregard this. I will delete those. And let's just use Google Meets. I like that. Simplifies
Look at that
things.
changed on the membership page.
And we can record, and that will eat up Google space instead of Zoom space. And Google is much more, they're much less stingy with their space for cost.
Well, we can even archive out of there too once we get to a point. Yeah, we can move it to Kartra, and once they're moved, we can just delete whatever we don't want in Google.
But I think with G Suite, it's like a terabyte or something ridiculous. It's way better than Zoom. I think I paid $10 extra a month for 100 gigs or something. It's just,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Give me any chance you can transfer that to a calendar invite?
The Google Meet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be able to. I don't think that'll be an issue. I think Kartra allows for integration to Google.
If it doesn't end up on my calendar, then I will not only forget the link, forget to do it, forget to show up, forget to eat dinner.
Yeah, we can even maybe add a button. However it works, I'll get it. We'll get it figured out. There's got to be a way to at least get folks to be able to add it to the calendar. Cool. We'll let you guys know when that's out there. We can test it, make sure it's working.
F&A
What do you think
Cotton.
else? What's that?
I said F&A Cotton.
Anything else for today? I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
What's next? That's the only thing I need to know.
Well, I am still polishing up. What the fuck is the title of this one? Organize and price your digital program membership. Damn near done with that one. And I'll probably take a pause and re-record those videos that I had recorded for some of these, and then I will continue moving on to putting out these programs and pay content. That's what I'm doing. Do you guys need me doing anything else? Or is that still my charge?
I don't think
My
so.
focus.
I think that's still your focus personally.
Okay.
I'll try to upload that ebook into the quick reference section in Kartra. I've still got some things I need to do around content for the next couple of weeks in terms of focus around BGS and Hurricane Helene and just some tangential stuff.
I'll look at the numbers again for the likes campaign and see if I need to change.
I'll look at the numbers
anything.
again for the likes campaign and see if I need to
This leads
change
magnet
anything.
guide is again in a
When this leads
reviewable
magnet guide
form. I'll
is
send it
again in
over.
a
You
reviewable
guys kind of
form,
peruse, see what you think.
I'll send it over. Let you guys kind of peruse to what you think, and then what else?
Work on an AI program outline for
Work on an
what the future looks
AI
like
program
for that
outline
in the program.
for what the future looks like for that in the program.
Cool. Very cool.
Cool.
A couple things I wanted to throw out there real quick here. I don't know if you guys heard of
couple
anything
things I wanted to
called
throw out there.
Entrepedia. If you've ever seen
real quick
that
here.
school
I don't know
across
if you guys
your
heard of anything
Facebook
called
feeds or anything.
Entrepedia. If you've
I
ever
bought it
seen
a
that
while
school
ago.
across your
I'm talking
Facebook
like end
feeds
of
or
last
anything.
year.
I
And
bought
kind of
it
forgot
a
about
while
it.
ago.
It's like
I'm talking
it's
like
like a
end of last
whitelisted,
year, and kind of forgot
or not
about it.
whitelisted,
It's
like a PLR
it's like a whitelisted,
type
or not
program.
whitelisted,
And
like a
basically
PLR
bought the membership, and
type
I have access to like
program, and
Okay.
utilize
basically
any of it in
bought the
there.
membership, and I have access to
I
like
was going to use it
utilize any
for
of it in there.
was
I
my
was going to
brand,
use it
Modern Day Entrepreneur,
for
back when I was doing that, and I just dropped that once we
was my
started
brand
taking off
Modern
the
Day
Cohort IV.
Entrepreneur. Back when I was
And
doing
I kind
that,
of
I
forgot
just
about it.
dropped that once we
But I
started
mean, I'm
taking off the
licensed
Cohort
with
IV.
myself, and since I'm
And I kind
on
of
the
forgot
LLC,
about
I
it.
see no reason why
But
we can't
I mean,
use
I'm
anything in
licensed
there
with myself, and
to
since I'm
repurpose
on
it
the
and
LLC,
rebrand
I
it as
see no
Cohort
reason
IV.
why we can't use anything in there
I wouldn't
to
think there'd be
repurpose
any
it and
legal issues
rebrand
from
it as
that
Cohort
perspective.
IV.
If you want, I
I
can
wouldn't
share you
think there'd
guys
be any
over
legal
the
issues from that
login information
perspective.
for that if you want to poke around a little bit.
If you want, I can share you guys over the
We can use it
login
to
information for that. If you want to
puff
poke
up
around
anything.
a
It has
little
stuff
bit,
from like e-commerce, you name it.
we can
There's
use
all
it
kinds of
to
crap out there.
puff
Some
up anything. It has
videos, the
stuff from
videos
like
are
e-commerce,
okay.
you name it. There's all kinds of
Not
crap
that we
out
really want
there.
to rely on
Some
somebody
videos,
else's
the videos
video,
are
but
okay.
even if it's just from a
Not that we really want to rely on somebody
ebooks
else's video,
or
but even if it's just from a
guidebooks or anything,
ebooks
but
or
there's lots of stuff there. A lot of AI stuff too,
guidebooks or
where we can
anything.
maybe just steal and not
But
steal,
there's lots of stuff there. A lot of AI
repurpose,
stuff too that we can
rebrand.
maybe just
I mean,
steal
like I
and
said,
not
there's
steal, but
you'll see there. There's
repurpose,
in the membership site.
rebrand.
There's
I mean, like I said, there's
certificate to
you'll see there.
use it
There's
too.
in the
So
membership
we have
site.
that to,
There's
if anything comes back,
certificate
well,
to
you guys said we
use
could
it
use
too.
it. So,
So we have
but
that.
I'll
If
after the
anything
call
comes
here, I'll
back, it's
drop
like,
that
well,
for you
you
guys
guys said we
in
could
the
use it. So,
in your emails,
but
and
I'll,
you can
I'll
just take a look
after the
at
call
it.
here, I'll drop that in you guys in the in your
Another
emails,
thing,
and
Troy, I
like
didn't
I said,
get to
just
look
take
a
a
whole
look
lot
at
at
it.
your bulletproof value proposition yet.
Another thing, Troy, I
But I
didn't
like
get
the
to look a
title of
whole
it,
lot at your bulletproof
and
value proposition
coincidentally,
yet. But I like the
earlier
title
this
of it,
year, I was putting
and
something together called
coincidentally,
Bulletproof Budget,
earlier this
and
year, I was putting something
this
together
is kind
called
of coincidental
Bulletproof
that the naming
Budget,
sort of stuck on each other. If you'd
and
like, I could share that with you guys.
this is kind of
If you want
coincidental
to try
that
to
the
throw
naming
it in
sort of
somewhere.
stuck on each other. If you'd like, I could share that with you
It's kind of
guys.
it's a
If you want to
Google
try to throw
spreadsheet
it
that
in
folks can
somewhere,
use to
um,
populate.
it's
Sort of
kind of
along
it's
the lines
a
of what you did,
Google
Troy, from
spreadsheet that folks
from
can
your
use to
budget, your
populate.
that
Sort of
budget
along the lines
spreadsheet
of
that
what
you
you
did,
did, Troy, from
but just a little bit different.
your
It's more
budget,
geared
your
towards
that
like a
budget
personal
spreadsheet that you
financial
did,
budget
but
for
just a little
folks
bit
to use.
different. It's more geared towards like a
Or we
personal
can always
financial
rebrand that,
budget
put
for
a
folks to
CIV
use.
logo on it if we want to use it somewhere.
But we can always rebrand that, throw
Maybe
the
even
CIV
repurpose it
logo
towards
on
a
it if we want to
business
use it somewhere.
budget for folks. But
Maybe even repurpose
again,
it
just
towards a
some
business
thoughts from there. I'll pop
budget
it over if you guys think
for
we could use
folks.
it or
But
not.
again, just
We'll see.
some thoughts from there. I'll pop it over if you guys think we could use it or not.
So I'll drop both
Let me
those
know.
in your inboxes here after the call.
Cool.
Ruby.
So I'll drop both those in
And I
your
still have some
inboxes here
credits
after the
left
call.
on PLR.me or whatever. And I still have some credits left on PLR.me or whatever it's called. If there's any content in there we
Having
want
kind
to
of
grab
perused
as well.
PLR.me a few times.
Having kind
a
of
lot
perused
what I would pull out of there
PLR.me
is like if
a
I
few
just
times,
needed a quick,
a lot of what I would pull out of
quick
there
checklist,
is
quick
like
guide,
if I just
quick,
needed
like,
a quick,
really short, whatever.
quick checklist, quick
Right.
guide, quick
That-
really short, whatever.
almost like an outline.
that
You know, almost like something like, okay, I would use this in a
almost like
in
an
a
outline.
conversation that I would
You know,
have
almost
with
like something like,
XYZ,
okay, I would
and
use
have
this in
something just
a
in the resource
conversation
area.
that I would have with
Um,
XYZ and
and
have
Jim,
something
to your
just in
point
the
about
resource area.
the bulletproof budget.
And Jim, to your point
I think
about
it's less
the
about,
bulletproof
you know,
budget,
we think it should go in somewhere. It's like,
I
where do
think
you
it's
think it
less
should live?
about, you know, if
Like,
we
where
think
do
it
you
should
want it
go
to
in
live?
somewhere. It's like, where do you think it should live?
Like, I think that it
Like,
goes
where do you want
somewhere
it to
around
live?
establishing your business, maybe.
Like,
Like,
I think
as
that it
one of
goes
the-
somewhere around establishing your
part of one
business,
of the
maybe.
columns for
Like, as
establishing
as
your
one of
business in
the-
growth strategy project
As
plan.
part of one of the columns for establishing your business in the growth strategy project plan.
You know what? I like this. Why don't we, if you're up for it, why don't we? Because I have to amend to put the BOI in for build your business. Would you like to do like a guest appearance in build your business and do a module on personal finance and budget. You can talk to
Yeah.
you can talk to that with a hell of a lot more credence than I can.
Yeah.
The only reason I have money is because I make more money than I spend, but I sure fucking love to spend money and I hate to budget.
That's a lot of folks, though.
Well, it is, but they sure as hell
That's a
don't
lot
want
of
to hear
folks,
me
though.
preach on it. So if you want to flex that credibility, that would be a great place to do it.
Sounds good. I'll throw something together.
Cool, man. That would be cool.
Sounds good. I'll throw something together.
Yeah, that would be cool. And if you need, if you're doing slides, I have the slide template for those courses in Canva.
Yeah, whatever you got that'll make it easier to not recreate. the
Yeah,
wheel.
whatever you got that'll make it easier to
Well, and then we
not
we
recreate
say
the wheel.
uniform.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about branding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
That'd be
all
cool.
about branding.
You guys might have brought this up. I think for now we've also solved or
You guys might have brought this up. I think for now
a
we've
lot of the email
also
problems.
solved or
There's
bypassed
still some of the back
a lot
end
of the email problems.
work to do, but
There's still some of the back end
I think they're being delivered now.
work to do, but
Cool.
I think they're being delivered now.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know, Troy, if you saw my. I wasn't able to go in to change anything.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know,
On the
Troy,
car
if you
and
saw my.
Carter side,
I
but
wasn't able to
to
go in to
Brian's
change
I
anything
reran through some of
on
the
the
other
on the Carter
analyzers
side,
today that I
but
did previously.
to Brian's point,
and they're picking up
I
green.
reran through some of the
So,
other analyzers today that I
I
did
don't know if it was
previously,
just
and they're
residual
picking up
impact from
green.
that
So
issue that we had a couple weeks ago.
I don't
that
know
was
if there was
corrected.
just residual impact from that
I'm not sure, but
issue
I
that
did
we
add
had a couple
another
weeks ago that was
one of my
corrected.
email addresses, and it went right to
Not
inbox
sure,
and
but I
not
did add
spam,
another
so
one of my email addresses, and it went right
maybe
to
it's a
inbox and not
non-issue.
spam. So maybe it's a
Cool.
non-issue.
I think Brian put it best. It's like wizardry. I think it was wizardry. Is that what you call it, or magic?
Something
I
like
think
that.
Brian put
I
it
mean,
best. It's like wizardry.
definitely
I
not
think it was
science.
wizardry. Is that what you
No.
call it, or magic?
There's
No,
no
it's-
ones and
I mean,
zeros
Yeah.
associated
It's
with
not
this
definitely not a
bullshit.
science.
No.
There's no ones and zeros associated with this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not frustrated at all. I mean,
Can't tell.
yeah, email.
Yeah, I'm not
it
frustrated
delivers
at
or
all.
it doesn't,
I mean,
but
Can't
there's
tell.
no rhyme or reason
Yeah,
as to
email
why.
like it delivers or it doesn't, but there's no rhyme or reason as to why.
Watch it stop now.
Watch it stop now.
Having Google.
Just because I said it.
Fucking listening to
Effing
you.
Google.
100%.
100%.
What else we got? What else we got?
What else you want? I got.
I was about to sneeze. I was about to sneeze. So we'll get the Google Meets link later.
So we'll get the Google Meets link later.
Good for now on my end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for now on my end.
I think I'm good here. Mr. Jim, anything else?
Right. We got plenty there, huh?
Yeah, I think we got plenty there, huh?
Cool.
So no meeting tonight.
So no meeting tonight.
Yeah, I'd say unless we hear like something from, you're like, hey, are we
Yeah, I'd
meeting?
say
I
unless
think
we
if
hear
get
like
that, like last
something
minute, we
from,
almost, like,
be
don't
like,
wanna
hey, are
turn
we
it
meeting?
down.
I think if we get that
would
like
it-
last
then
minute,
would
we
it
almost
be
like don't want to turn her down if
would it
we.
be in our best interest to send out an email saying that there won't be a meeting tonight?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Maybe send out a. We have one member.
Maybe send
Send
out a.
send something from Kartra. A
We
hey,
have
see
one
you've
member.
been
Send out. We can send something from Kartra
accessing the site, or I'll
Hey,
see what.
hey,
what
see you've
progress
been
if she's done anything in the membership site or
accessing
whatever.
the site, or I'll see
And
what
or
kind
just
of
send out
progress
like
if
a
she's done
reminder, hey,
anything
making
in
sure
the
you're
membership
getting
site or
everything you
whatever.
need. We're not
Or
holding
just
a
send out
meeting
like
tonight,
a
but
reminder,
we
hey,
can
making
schedule
sure
one
you're getting everything you
we'll get
need.
these next
We're
week.
not holding a meeting
Make sure
tonight,
you
but
sign up.
we can schedule one for.
And
We'll get
maybe
these kicking next
start sending out
week.
emails
Make sure you
in
sign up.
reminder of meetings every week. Because I know how I am with these type of things, and if it ain't on my calendar or I don't get an email, I ain't fucking showing up.
Exactly.
Would she want to have the meeting
Exactly.
tonight?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Would she want to have the meeting tonight?
I mean,
I don't know.
The
we're
other
saying
club
no
is right now.
meeting because we only have one
I
person.
mean,
Well, that
We have
and
person.
And the
we're
other
saying
club
no
is right
meeting
now.
that
because we only
Google's
have
not
one
set up yet
person.
either. Google Meets.
Well,
We
that
have
and
person.
Okay,
yeah, I was gonna say
that's,
that, and Google's not set up yet either.
that's
Google Meets
easier
and
for me to
Okay,
digest
that's-
in the sense of
That's easier
Rather
for
than
me
it's
to
like,
digest
hey,
in the sense of
there's only one member.
rather
so
than
we're not
it's
gonna do
like,
it.
hey,
Yeah, no, that
We're
won't be the
having
message.
technical difficulties.
there's only one
I don't
member,
think it's
so
that.
we're not going to do it.
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
no,
I
that
know you
won't
were
be the
having
message.
technical
Like that, but
difficulties.
I won't even
with
think
this
it's
thing
that.
up,
like the way that I'm thinking
I don't
about
think
it.
it's
I know
just
you weren't going
that
to word
either.
it like that, but just like
Yeah,
for
internally
me,
it's
like the way that
technical
I'm thinking
difficulties.
about it, like
Externally, it's just, hey, we haven't got
Yeah,
this going
internally it's
yet,
technical
but
difficulties.
next week starts it.
Externally,
Make
it's
sure
just,
you're
hey,
on
we
it.
haven't got these going yet, but next week starts it. Let's make sure you're on it.
Cool.
I'm assuming she hasn't said anything to you, Brian, that she won't. Like, hey, what's not going on here?
And assuming she
She's
hasn't
not
said anything
missing
to
it
you,
yet,
Brian, that she won't.
so
Like, hey, what's not going on
you
here?
gotta stay ahead of the
She's
ball.
not missing it yet.
Yeah,
So,
there's
Right.
been nothing as of yet.
but you have to stay ahead of the ball.
Yeah, there's been nothing as of yet.
But no, I'll get some nurturing emails to your point there, Troy, as well. Not just
Okay. But no, I'll get some nurturing
Schedule,
emails to your
but
point there, Troy,
yeah,
as well.
reminders
Not just
and how are you liking things and
schedule, but
all those
yeah,
blah, blah, blahs.
reminders and how are you liking things
Get
and
a campaign going.
all those blah blah blahs.
One
Get a campaign
one
going.
aspect regarding analytics, something we really ought to consider implementing is periodic surveys, satisfaction surveys for these members. Ask them. We'll have data on how often they're participating and what they're doing, but ask them. Get what are you doing? What are you using? What are you not? On a scale of 1 to fuck you, is it something that you can navigate? Etc. And now that I hear how that sounds, maybe it'd be better for one of y'all to write it. Just saying.
Consistent tone. Consistent tone. Just saying.
consistent tone, Just saying.
Christ. This is why my wife doesn't let me out of the basement. All right, well, fellas, I'm going to go say goodbye to my 9-year-old before he rolls off to school. And I will see y'all Monday.